Agamben's work, The Man Without Content, is a philosophical reflection on the meaning of art, beauty, and the role of the artist in modern culture. Written in 1970, the book explores how the modern experience of art has changed from being about creation and inspiration to becoming something distant and empty, a world where both the artist and the audience are disconnected from meaning. Agamben begins by examining a problem that goes back to Nietzsche and Kant. Kant said that beauty gives us pleasure without interest, meaning that when we see something beautiful, we enjoy it without wanting to possess or use it. Nietzsche criticized this view, saying that Kant looked at beauty only through the eyes of a spectator, not from an experience of the creator. For Nietzsche, art should not be disinterested. It should be full of life, passion, and danger. Agamben uses this disagreement to show how modern aesthetics shifted attention from the creator, the artist, to the viewer, the spectator. This shift, he argues, has made art lose its power. The artist, once seen as a person risking everything for creation, has become a distant figure, while the viewer enjoys art safely as a pleasant or cultural experience. Agamben traces this problem through history, showing that in ancient Greece, art was seen as powerful and even dangerous. Plato banned poets from his ideal city because their works could disturb the moral order. Art for him had too much influence on the soul. Later, art became more safe. It was placed in museums, studied by critics, and judged by taste. The divine terror that art once provoked disappeared, replaced by calm admiration. Agamben calls this loss the birth of the aesthetic age, a time when art is no longer lived but merely contemplated. In the chapter Fraunhofer and his double, Agamben uses Balzac's story The Unknown Masterpiece as a symbol of modern artistic crisis. In the story, Fraunhofer, a painter, spends years trying to create a perfect picture that captures pure reality beyond form or style. But when he finishes, his painting is a chaotic blur of colors. He has destroyed his art in trying to make it absolutely real. For Agamben, Fraunhofer represents the artist's struggle between meaning and form. The more the artist tries to express pure truth, the more the art becomes meaningless. This shows the modern split between creation and understanding, between the artist who works and the viewer who judges. Agamben also examines the rise of the man of taste in 17th century Europe. This is the person who claims to know what is beautiful and what is not, someone who enjoys art with refinement and attachment. This figure replaced the passionate creator with a calm, analytical spectator. Art became an object to be judged rather than living act of creation. While good taste seems to refine our sense of beauty, it also leads to indifference. The man of taste feels pleasure but no passion. The artist, on the other hand, becomes isolated, misunderstood, and even mad, like Holderlin or Rimbaud, who risked their lives and sanity for art. In contrast, Agamben discusses the man of bad taste who loves art passionately but without refinement. For example, Moliere's character Monsieur Jordan is ridiculous, but his love for beauty is sincere. Art often thrives more in bad taste than in cold perfection. True creativity comes from risk, emotion, and imperfection. In this sense, good taste can kill art by turning it into a lifeless object of polite admiration. Agamben also looks at how the relationship between good and bad taste mirrors moral confusion in modern culture. The man of taste becomes morally empty. He can appreciate beauty but cannot tell right from wrong. In Diderot's Rameau's nephew, the main character is intelligent and sensitive to art, but corrupt and shameless in life. He represents the man without content, someone whose only skill is judgment, not creation. He can feel everything but believes in nothing. Agamben sees in this figure the birth of the modern aesthetic subject, cultured, ironic, and spiritually empty. This split between genius and taste, creation and contemplation, becomes a symbol of the cultural sickness of the West. Drawing on Hegel, Agamben explains that this emptiness is not accidental. It is part of the historical process of Western culture in which spirit separates itself from life and becomes self conscious through alienation. Modern art expresses this alienation. It knows everything about itself but has lost its purpose. The man without content is the artist and spectator of this emptiness. He lives only through reflection, not creation. Agamben describes how museums and collections, like the Cabinet of Wonder, reflect the same problem. In early times, collections mixed natural objects, relics, and artworks together, forming a living world of marvels. Modern museums, by contrast, isolate art forms from life and history, placing them in a silent, sterile space. Art becomes a preserved object, admired for form but cut off from experience. The museum is both a temple and a tomb of art. By the end of the book, Agamben suggests that to recover meaning, we must go beyond aesthetics itself. We must return to the original sense of poiesis, the act of making that joins art and life. In ancient Greek, poiesis meant creation in harmony with being, not just artistic production. Modern aesthetics separated art from life, but Agamben calls for a new understanding that reunites them. The destruction of aesthetics may be necessary for art to regain its power.